just girls. There's no difference. Okay, here we go. Lesson 28. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a quadratic equation and we're going to interpret it. Flip through a little bit. Go ahead, sorry. Flip through. It's only 3 pages long. What do you notice about the problems? They have a lot of what? A lot of words. Yeah, a lot of words. Who says that immediately makes me feel stressed out? Raise your hand. Okay, don't be stressed. You're going to be fine. Okay, and this lesson is really good at leading you into 1050 because we do this in 1050 as well. Okay, here we go. By the way, just so you guys know, your final is in 3.5 weeks. And I won't see you for like a week. So by the time I see you again, your final's going to be in 2.5 weeks. So and once we get back, you're going to be busy until we're done. Okay, here we go. Question 1. A soft drink manufacturer has daily production costs represented by this equation, where C is the cost in dollars and X is the number of units produced. Find the number of units that should be produced each day to yield a minimum cost. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go X equals Y equals. Okay, now look at the equation. There is no Y in that equation. I know that. So why do I talk about X and Y? Because you think in terms of X and Y. When we get an ordered pair, you're going to say, well, the first one's the X and the second one's the Y, and that's good. So what this equation is solved for is the Y. So the Y is the C, and the X is the variable that's within the equation on the other side, which is just an X. And then you read the words, and it says X is the number of units produced, and then C is the cost. So now I know if I'm looking for X, then I'm looking for units, and if I'm trying to find Y, then I'm trying to find cost. You guys, there's a word in this sentence that really stands out to you that tells you what to do. Look, find the number of units that should be produced each day to yield a minimum cost. Does anybody know the word that's standing out? Go ahead, thank you. It is minimum. It is minimum. Isn't that funny how we can tell that word? I don't know why. It just really kind of sticks out at you. So anyway, remember when we were finding the vertex HK and H is negative B over 2A? That's all we're doing. That's it. So we've done this before. So guys, your A is in front of the X squared. It's right there, 0.055. Your B is in front of the X, so that's negative 120, and your C is 70,000. So negative B, that's negative 120 over 2 times A, which is 0.055. Now you learned this lesson through video because I was gone or because you had to do it on a weekend. But anyway, just be really careful right here, guys. Look. First of all, in the whole fraction, I have 2 negatives. 2 negatives is going to give me a positive, so I can forget about the sign. I know it's a positive. Grab your calculator. Every person in the room, I want your calculator in your hand, okay? Because people do this wrong. So I want to make sure we do this right, okay? So everybody go 120 divided by 2 times 0.055. Hit enter, and you get 3.3. And that's wrong. Look at what we put in our calculator, and I want you to try to figure out what's wrong. Can anybody describe that to me? Go ahead, honey. So where do I put the parentheses, honey? You actually, it's not the 120. You don't. Okay, and then put parentheses around the 2. Yes. Yes. Everybody look. Do you see how there are 2 things in the denominator? You have to tell the calculator that they're both in the denominator. Look how we got the 3.3. Everybody watch this. We went 120 divided by 2, and then you multiplied that whole thing by 0.055, which pushed the 0.055 to the top. Who says I understand that? Okay, so what we needed, do you see how the top, you guys, only has one number in it? It doesn't need parentheses, but the bottom has two numbers, so you have to do parentheses. Now let's do it correctly. Everybody go 120 divided by parenthesis. Now freeze right here and let me tell you something. See all those parentheses right there? I don't put them in. I know that that means 2 multiplied, so I'm just going to go 2 times 0.055, close it off, hit enter, and my actual answer is 1090.909. Okay, who says I understand that? Let me see. Okay, what does that stand for? Look, you guys, it's the x-coordinate of the vertex. What does the x-coordinate stand for? Units produced. What are they asking me? Find the number of units that should be produced. So that's my answer. But they want me, I want you to write right here, round it to the nearest whole number. So that would be 1091. You must have a label every single time, and you would write the word units. Okay? Somebody tell me what page we're on, please.
127.
127, thanks. Does anybody know why I keep asking you guys that once in a while?
So you can make changes.
You're exactly right. I'm making it better and better and better. So when I find something that's not perfect, then I fix it. Okay, here we go with question 2. The marketing department at TI has found that when certain calculators are sold at a price of P dollars per unit, the revenue can be described by this function. Okay, everybody freeze. There was a question that was on a test or quiz in the past, and you guys missed it because you didn't know what stood for what. Okay, so everybody write this down. X equals Y equals. Why did I write X equals Y equals? Because there's no X and Y in the equation. It's because you think about X and Y. So what's the Y? Is it the R or is it the P? Everybody tell me. It's what it's solved for. So the Y is the R and the X is the P. And then read the words. P is price, and that's in dollars. R stands for, what's the R stand for, everybody? It's revenue. You guys, writing those down is going to take me 15 seconds. That's not very much time. And it's going to save me so that I get this right. Here's the question. What unit price should be used to maximize the revenue? Everybody in the room, what's that word that's shouting at you? Maximize. It doesn't matter if it says maximize or minimize. You know why this says maximize? Look right here. This is a parabola that opens down. Your vertex is going to be a maximum. That's why it says max. Okay? What do? Negative b over 2a. What's that? Negative 21,000 over 2 times negative 150. So you do this. First of all, 2 negatives, positive, forget about the sign. 21,000, punches in your calculator, 21,000 divided by, what's the very next button I'm going to push? Everybody in the room tell me. A parenthesis. And then don't go 2 parenthesis negative 150, close it. Just go 2 times 150. Close it, enter, and I get 70. Is that the X of the vertex or the Y? Everybody in the room tell me. Negative b over 2a is the X. That stands for price. Read the question. What unit price? That's the answer. Okay? Now, every word problem has a label. You have to have a label. We had the discussion when I met with Weber last time, and they are going to crack down on labels big time on the final. What's my label? Dollars. Some of you are putting the dollar sign behind the 70. The reason you do that is because you say $70, so then it makes sense, right? But you guys know that dollar sign actually goes in the front. So make sure you put it in the right place, okay? Question B. If you charge $70, what is the maximum revenue? What's the revenue, guys? That's the Y. So what do? plug in your x. That's all you do. Everybody go r equals negative 150, parentheses 7, square it, plus 21,000 times 70. Okay, grab your calculator. Punch it in exactly the way you see it. So go negative 150, parentheses 70, close it, x squared, plus 21,000, parentheses 70, close it, enter, and you get 735,000. 735,000 what? What's my label, guys? It's dollars. Revenue is money. That's it. Negative b over 2a, plug it in. You've done it before. You've done this before. Okay, question 3. A baseball is hit at a point 3 feet above the ground with a velocity of 100 feet per second at an angle of 45 degrees with respect to the ground. The path of the baseball is given by this equation where f of x is the height and x is the horizontal distance from home. Everybody freeze. What is the first thing I always want you to do? Everybody in the room tell me. X equals y equals. Let's write that. The y is the f of x. Whatever it's solved for is your y. F of x is the height in feet. So I'm going to say y is the height in feet. Read in the paragraph. What does x stand for? X is the distance from home, and that would be in feet. Question A. Where will the ball be when it reaches a maximum height? Everybody in the room, what's the word? Maximum. The second you read maximum, then you know negative b over 2a. So negative b means negative 1 over 2 times negative 0.005. 2 negatives is going to give me what sign, everybody? A positive. Okay, so everybody go 1 divide. Tell me what to push right now. Parenthesis 2 times 0.005. Close it, enter, and I get 100. I feel like maybe you don't understand this question because I didn't get a lot of answers. What does that 100 stand for? Is it the x or is it the y? It's the x. Look at the description. What is x? Distance from home. That is not a height. That's how far it is from the home plate. Read the question. Where will the ball be when it reaches a maximum? That's the answer. So it's 100 feet from home. Read the next question. What is the maximum height? They're asking you for the maximum y. Every person in the room, what do? Plug it in. Word problems are not scary. You've already done this. So everybody go f of 100 is negative 0.005 times 100 squared plus 100 plus 3. Punch it in exactly the way you see it. Negative 0.005 parenthesis 100, close it, x squared plus 100 plus 3 gives me 53. Every word problem has a label. 53 what, everybody? Feet. That is how high it's going to be. Okay. Question C. Is this section highlighted that it was on the final? Yeah. Which one? Is it this one? Yeah. Okay, I thought so. That's why I asked. Okay, so pay close attention. Okay, everybody look. Here's the x-axis. Here's the y-axis. This is the x value, which is distance from home. This is the y value, which is the height. Okay, so the ball gets hit, and this is the path of the baseball. Looks like that. Do you see how that y-intercept right here is not at 0? What sport would we be playing if the y-intercept was at 0? Soccer. Anybody else? I thought of a different one. Something I'm really bad at, golf. Because when you hit the ball, it's on the ground. Soccer, you kick the ball, it's in the ground. Baseball, you don't do this, you do this. So this right here represents when the ball is what? Tell me. Come on. When it's hit, right? Oh boy. I'm not plugged in somewhere. Okay. Okay, so this is when the ball is hit. So when it's 0 distance from home, it's at a height, and the height is actually 3. Not that you needed to know that, but anyway, who says I understand that? Okay, read the question. How far from home will the ball be when it reaches the ground? Somebody raise your hand and tell me where on that picture the ball is on the ground. Go ahead, honey.
When the line is the x-axis.
You're perfect. You're perfectly right. Good. Put a dot right there if you drew it. It is the, say it again, honey. It's the x-intercept. And to find the x-intercept, we let something be something. What do? You let the y be a 0. Well, that makes sense because y stands for height, and if it's on the ground, the height is a 0. Who says I understand that? Okay, so you're going to take that equation, which is right here, and you're going to let the height, which is the y, be a 0. Okay, so everybody go negative 0.005 x to the second plus x plus 3 equals 0. My height is a 0 and it's on the ground. Who says I understand this? Raise your hand. Okay, listen to my question. Could I sit and try to factor this? Could I? Yes, I could. Should I? No. Could I complete the square? Could I? Sure. Should I? No way. Both of those would be crazy. So what's the best option? Quadratic formula. Everybody go x equals negative b, that's negative 1, plus or minus the square root of b squared. That's 1 squared. Please don't write it as 1 squared. How did I say to write that? Just a 1, right? Figure out what 1 squared is. Minus 4 times a, which is negative 0.005, times c, which is a 3, all over 2 times a, which is negative 0.005. Okay, I want everybody to freeze right here. I'm going to say some things that are super important and maybe a little tough to understand. I want you to remember this was on the final. Okay. I want you to add the directions 3 digits past the decimal. Okay. Do I have permission to round? Yes or no? Have I been granted permission to round my answer? Tell me. What did we just write down, everybody? So do I have permission? Yes, I do. So you never write it as a decimal unless you have permission. How do you know if you have permission? You read the directions. Who says I understand that? Okay. Please don't do this. This is important. It's going to save you for some of you. If you're punching things in your calculator, I want you to stop. Okay? Please don't do this. Negative 1 plus or minus the square root of, which I see people punching and writing, and that means they're doing it without listening to the directions. When I put this in, I get 1.06 all over whatever that is. And then I start to go 1.06 and maybe try to break things down and then simplify. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, okay? Because you have permission to round, okay? So look what I want you to do, okay? I want you to draw, like put a little asterisk or draw an arrow and say, put in my calculator all at once. And it's kind of tricky, Okay, so I want you to watch closely. I have to add parentheses in 2 places. Someone tell me where the 2 places are before we begin. Go ahead.
Is it under the square root and then the denominator or numerator?
Okay, it's okay. No, you're good, honey. So the ones in the square root come automatically. So in the square root, no. But then you said denominator, or you said the other way. It's actually both. Because in the numerator, you have 2 terms. And in the denominator, you have 2 terms. So I want you to literally add those parentheses on your paper. Okay? Now let's do this together. Please don't go ahead of me. Okay? Everybody go parenthesis. -1 plus second x squared. 1, okay, freeze right there for a second. As soon as you hit x squared, do you see that the calculator automatically gave you a parenthesis for that radical? Do you see that? Okay, so then you go 1 minus 4 parenthesis, -0.005, close parenthesis, new parenthesis 3. I want you to freeze right there. How many closes do I need? The first closes the what? The 3. The second closes the what? The root or the radical. Am I done? What do I need? One more that closes the top. Yes, so 3 closes. Then go divide parenthesis 2 times -0.005, close it, enter, and you get x equals -2.956. Am I done coming up with answers? There's another one, right? So everybody hit up 1 time, then go right, right, right. Put a negative right there, hit enter, and you get 202.956. Okay, now I want you to freeze. This actually came up on something for you already. And I was lenient with the answer, but I don't want to be lenient anymore. Look right here. We're playing baseball. I hit the ball. It goes flying through the air, and it hits the ground. What does that -2.956 mean? Where did my ball go? It went behind me. Because positive means I'm playing it. Does negative feet even make sense? No. This was on the last test. And if you said the ball hits the ground 2.956 feet behind you, I gave you credit for it because I felt like you understood. But I'm not going to give you credit anymore. So right there, I want you to say invalid solution. That's what I wanted you to say on the test. Negative feet doesn't make sense. Besides that, if you're playing baseball and you hit the ball behind you, can you play ball with that ball? No, it's foul ball. It doesn't count. So the answer is 202.956. That answer's in feet, and you're done. Can I check my answer? Tell me that. Can I check it?
You store it.
You store it, you plug it back in there, and you better get a 0. Okay? Okay. Question D. In order for the ball to pass over an outfielder fence without hitting the fence, it must be 20 feet in the air. Okay, so let's draw a picture. Okay, so here is the XY axis. This is distance from home. This is height. The ball gets hit, and it comes up, and it goes like that.
Send Julianne Walker to the office for a few minutes.
Can she come in a minute?
Okay.
Oh, she's not here. She's in Hawaii.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, she's not here. She's in Hawaii. Okay, so it has to be 20 feet in the air. How far will the ball free from home when it reaches a height of 20? So guys, like say this is a height of 3. So height of 20 is going to be up, you know, or somewhere like that, right? So we actually didn't even need to draw a picture. You just take your equation and you let the height be 20. What's the height? Is that the x or is it the y? It's the y. So I'm going to go equals 20. Now I'm going to pull my 20 over. So I have negative 0.005 x to the second plus x minus 17 equals 0. Is this problem highlighted that it was on the final? No? Okay. Now I'm going to do quadratic. X equals negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 squared is 1 minus 4 times negative 0.005 times c, which is a negative 17, all over 2 times negative 0.005. Add parentheses around the top and parentheses around the bottom, and I want you to see if you can put it in correctly. Who says, I'm not ready to do that? I need you to tell me what buttons to push. Okay, try and see if you can get it. Just try it. Does the bell ring at 27? Do you guys know? Okay, good. Okay. When you're done, look up and see if you got it right. Who says that's what I got? Raise your hand. Let me see. Okay, good. If you didn't get it, let's figure out the calculator stuff. How is it possible that we could get 2 answers? Well, guys, look at the picture I drew. The height is 20 there, and it's there. So it hits it, goes up a little higher, and then it hits it again, okay? If you did not get those numbers, grab your calculator and do this with me, okay? Who didn't get the numbers? Is there anybody in the room that didn't get the numbers correct? Don't be shy. Close your eyes. Never mind. I got an answer. You don't need to close your eyes. Okay, let's just do this. Everybody in the room, do it with me. Grab your calculator. Parenthesis. Negative 1 plus second x squared. 1 minus 4 parenthesis. Negative 0.005 close parenthesis. New parenthesis. Negative 17. How many closes do you need right there? 3. Close, close, close. Divided by, what do I hit right after divide? Parenthesis. Then I'm going to go 2 times negative 0.005, close it, enter. There's my 18.8. Then if I go up, right, negative, enter. There's my 181.2, and I'm done. Tenth means 1 digit after the decimal, okay? What is the practical domain? Domain is x. X is distance from home. You guys, what's the smallest distance from home that the ball could be? Tell me. The smallest distance from home. 0. You missed the ball. What's the furthest distance from home this thing can be? When it hits the ground, right? When does it hit the ground? 202.956. Close it off. Okay, question F. What is the practical range? Range is y Y stands for height. Some people are doing these backwards in the wrong order. Some people are mixing up domain and range. What is the smallest height the ball could be at? 0. Could it actually be at 0? Yes, it could. What's the biggest height that the ball could be at? Tell me that. 53. Could it actually hit 53? Yes or no? Yes. Close it off with a bracket. Some of you are still doing stuff like this. Look. I will not give you credit for that. I can't guess what that is. Okay? So scribble it out and write it again or erase it or whatever you need to do. Okay, 4 and 5 and then we're done. A company that's found that revenue from the sale of pagers. I need to change that to cell phones. So cross that out and put cell phones. Tells you how old this example is. What is a pager?
Isn't that like when it tells you like you're getting a call?
Yes, so it was pre-cell phone. You had a little thing on your, like Grey's Anatomy. Does anybody watch Grey's Anatomy? You girls love that, right? My daughter's like, good heavens, loves it. So it's there, you get a buzz, then it says, this person's calling you. Then you have to go to a landline and you have to call them to a landline. No cell phones. So it was a long time ago. So let's change it to cell phones. Is a function of the unit price that it charges. If the revenue R is given by this equation, what unit price should be charged to maximize the revenue, and what is the maximum revenue? How do I want you to start this problem? Please start it this way. X equals Y equals. Okay. The Y stands for the R of P. What does that stand for? Revenue. The X is the P. What does the P stand for? Stands for price. What is the maximum revenue? Doesn't matter if it says max or min. You go negative B over 2A. Sometimes people go negative 2B over A and everything's over. You have to remember that formula, okay? Negative B is negative 1900 over 2 times negative 1/2. 2 negatives, positive. Forget about the sign. Besides that, a negative price doesn't make sense. So go 1900 divided by, what's the very next button I push, guys? Parenthesis. 2 times negative. Can I say 0.5? Negative 0.5? Yeah, I could. I could also go negative 1 divided by 2. It doesn't matter. Close it off, hit enter, and I get 1900. That is the X coordinate of the vertex. What does that stand for? Price. Read the question. What unit price? Add a $sign. There's your answer. But I'm not done because there's a second question. What is the maximum revenue? Everybody in the room, what do? Plug it back in. So everybody go R of 1900 is equal to negative 1/2 times 1900 squared plus 1900 times 1900. Put it in just how you see it. Negative 1 divide 2 parenthesis 1900 close it x squared plus 1900 parenthesis 1900 close it, hit enter, and I get 1,805,000. Everybody in the room, tell me the label. Dollars. The dollars does not go at the end. It goes at the front. Okay. Example 5 should be highlighted. Is it highlighted?
No.
Man, the heck did I do? Highlight it. This was on the final. I know it was because I was just looking through the final from last semester. A ball is thrown into the air on top of a building. The height of the ball is represented by this equation where h of t is the height of the ball and t is the time in seconds. What do these things mean? Okay, look. The vertex is here. Guys, this is a parabola that opens down. Okay? This is the one, look right here. Everybody write x equals y equals. The y is your h of t. What does that stand for? It stands for the height. And that would be in, it doesn't give you a measurement. We're going to say feet. Okay, so we're just adding to the problem that is feet. And then x stands for your t, and that is seconds. okay? So T, that 10 is seconds. That right there is the height, okay? This is not full credit. Listen, after 10 seconds, the ball will be 1,684 feet in the air. That is not full credit. It's 2 out of 3 points. What didn't I say?
That it was at its max height.
That it's a maximum. Yes, a vertex, that's the peak. So we're going to say the maximum height is 1,684 feet, comma, and I'm probably not saying this the best. I'm going to say, and it is, let's say, oh, you guys help me.
Just say after.
Okay, let's start. Yeah, let's start over. That's okay. After, yeah, that's way better. After 10 seconds, the ball, what if I said this? The ball is at its maximum, -1. Why? You have to talk about those numbers. You can't just say it's a maximum. So after 10 seconds, the ball is at the maximum height of 1,684 feet. Yes.
Could you say after 10 seconds the ball's maximum height is 1,684 feet?
Yeah. It sounds like that's the maximum height at 10 seconds instead of the overall maximum. But it's okay. I'm not an English teacher, so I think we would get the gist of it. Okay? Yes.
The ball reaches a maximum height of 1,684 feet.
Say it again.
The ball reaches a maximum height of 1,684 feet.
That's your whole
After-
sentence.
oh, like
There you go.
after
Pull it
10
in
seconds.
after 10 seconds. Perfect. Okay. The y-intercept is 0,84. So again, draw an arrow right here and say 0 is seconds, 84 is height. You could say this. It would be very awkward. After 0 seconds, the height is 84 feet. Full credit, awkward. What does 0 seconds mean? Hasn't begun yet, right? And it's thrown into the air. So I'm going to say the ball is 84 feet in the air. Finish it. You could finish it with one word, actually. Right? Or better, the ball is initially 84 feet in the air. Or the ball is 84 feet in the air when it's thrown off of the building. Something like that. Okay? Okay, here are the x-intercepts. Okay? So, this right here stands for seconds. This stands for height. This right here stands for seconds. And this hand stands for height. Okay? Negative seconds, is that a thing? No. So we're going to go negative 0.26 comma 0 does not make sense. And then I would say after 20.26 seconds, comma, could you say the height is 0? Yes. It's awkward. What does the height of 0 mean? The ball hits the ground. Perfect. That's it. Who says I'm good? Raise your hand. Okay, great. Now, we still have 20 minutes left, okay? So, I want you guys to listen, okay?